Yes, sir. It's J Rythm on Ritmolucion, and it's about that time to introduce and welcome our guests today, two platinum-selling recording artists that are pushing the envelope in Latin and dance music. The amazing Jenn Morel, repping the Dominican Republic, and HUGEL, all the way from France.
Ow!
What up?
Que lo que?
Yo, super happy to be here.
It's amazing to have you both here.
J
You are
Rythm.
both internationally known. Jen, you just got back from Europe on
I
tour. And HUGEL, you just landed in the U.S., kicked off the U.S. tour. So it's amazing to have you both here in the studio right now.
Gracias.
Because I got to ask you guys, I want to talk about this movement that's happening with the Latin and dance music, the mashup. I feel like it's been a long time coming, but why do you guys think it's been like people have been embracing it so much like now?
Go ahead.
You want to start or start?
Yeah, go ahead. You start.
I'm going to tell you a story. We're here for telling
Please.
stories, yeah?
Yes.
We got time.
Story
So
time.
basically, the first song I did like this was Morenita. I used to live in Ibiza, in España. And when COVID arrived, I had to move to Lisbon in Portugal. And I was with my ex.
Muchas exes.
And that was dramatic, a lot of fights and all that. And the only way I had to escape this nightmare at home was my laptop and producing music. And I started to miss Ibiza a lot.
Yeah.
And as a therapy, I was like, okay, I miss Ibiza. I need to do something that remind me the island and the life there.
Exactly.
And I did the Morenita. And at that time, when I do that, there is no Latin house
No.
stuff on the market. I mean, it's a music that were existing like 15 years ago
Right.
that I grew up with
Yeah.
in salsa friends in Spain and all of that, because it's coming from Ibiza, but it was nowhere else on the market.
Yeah.
And then I released this Morenita song, and then suddenly, boom, I see a lot of like Latin house coming back on the market.
Yeah.
So why the people connect with that? I think it's because everything is a cycle. So you had this like big EDM, strong, Martin Garrix, Tiesto, all the stuff, EDM cycle that was like early 2010.
Huge, yeah.
Huge, of course. Then after that, we went back to some more like pop stuff. It was like electro, but pop mixed with, like Robin Schulz, like the Medusa song, the na, all this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then COVID arrived. And then after that, I feel like people after COVID, they needed the colors,
Exactly.
They needed happiness.
Yeah.
And this music, like I said, was created in Ibiza.
Yeah.
And I think it really brings colors, and I think that's why people connect with that after COVID.
Yeah, Morenita. I mean, little did you know you were writing it about Jenn Morel. here.
The Morenitas in the house. Put your hands up. I mean, I definitely agree with you. It's definitely a cycle that keeps coming back. And music, at the end of the day, is recycled. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So when he hit me up, so somehow he found out about me, and he's like, oh, boom, boom. Then we were together in the studio, which was amazing. And so he's like, hey, Jen, I got some ideas. We brainstormed some ideas in the studio. And then I took a trip to the Dominican Republic. I was out there for 6 weeks, and he's like, Jen, I got this idea. And I'm like, what's up? And he's like, listen, it's gonna go like this. And he sent me like the idea of papi chulo, and I'm like, oh, that's over. He's like, yo, let's write a hook, and let's see if we, let's take papi chulo from Lorna, and let's see what we could do, and let's mash it up. And it came out great. Me and Joely, shout out to my brother Joely, baby. We write together all of my music, and we wrote Tamo Loco, de la mente. We wanted to do something where it's chaotic. I want people to understand that we just came from a chaotic situation, which is COVID, obviously. So, Tamo Loco, de la mente, pero siempre estamos presidente. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're commanding, we're taking charge of whatever comes to us in our lives. So, Tamo Loco de la mente, este party ya está caliente, coronamos, presidente, estamos ready al mauta los dientes, papi. I mean, we did the whole session. I was in the Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo. I was out there recording, and we did the studio session through
Zoom.
And
I was in Lisbon, and we did that on Zoom, and they had the mom cooking in the back of the camera.
My mom. And by the way, my mom is so excited. She's like, I was there, and I was like, yes, she
Wow,
was.
yeah, she was.
She was right there. She's like, I was there when you recorded the record, and I literally had like una toalla, a towel on top of me.
On the
and it was
mic.
hot as
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, rapping, and then she's like, oh, but take some time. I'm like, mom, I just need you to be quiet in the back. But she had a blast. And she just when she meets you, just know she's gonna be like, I was there.
She was.
Well, she was.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I was jealous because she was cooking food.
Exactly.
And I had no one at the house cooking for me. And I was like, yo, can I have some?
Exactly, exactly. But it was so amazing. So I mean, the idea, you're a genius. I just want to say, genius with genius, we create a chaotic. It's a beautiful. I love the song. As soon as he brought the idea, I'm like, let's run it.
Yeah, and we're gonna get more into detail about the record and how. I mean, you guys recorded it and bringing Lorna on the record.
Yes.
But before that, I want to take it back just a little bit, Jen. You started off as a dancer and a comedy influencer.
Yes.
You even worked on some comedy sketches with Lele Bones that went like super viral.
Yes.
Do you ever tap into that? Like,
It's important that you guys know that I'm not aware of that, so I'm discovering right now.
Oh,
so it's very
are
interesting.
you?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm discovering the story. It's cool.
Yeah,
It's cool.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, no, I gotta take it back. Me and Jen
Yes,
go back, and I'm
yes.
like, yeah, I want to talk about this. Like, do you ever feel like some of that like molded the artist that you are today?
Oh, 100%. Like, so my friend right here and all these people that don't know my background, I mean, started all the way in New York City. I started as a dancer. I became a model when I was 18, and I was a dance teacher as well. So I was doing everything that was entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But obviously, in 100%, everything that I've done when it comes to like even like music videos, everything shaped me and molded me to the artist that I am. Because obviously now it's my turn. I'm in front of the camera. I'm the artist. I'm the star. It's just like I did background dancing. I was I did all of that. But I feel like God had obviously a bigger dream for me, and it was that I knew I wanted to be a performer. I hated school. I just had to put it out there.
Welcome to the club.
I hated school. So for me, it was like, I'll go to gym, I'll go to dance class, I'll go to acting class. It was just everything that I love. And 6 years ago,
You didn't hate school, but you just you
I pick
hated
and
school, but
choose.
you liked learning
Exactly.
at the same time. It's
But I
like-
was
it's the
good. I
same
was
thing.
good at dancing, acting, boy. I was getting straight A's. But it's like, you know what it is? If it doesn't interest me, it's just like I just don't want it.
Yeah, of course.
You know
No,
what
you
I'm
gotta
saying?
love it.
But coming from a Latino family, it was very important for me to have a degree. So yes, mommy, that was for you. Mommy, that was for you. But
now you got her in the back of the
Exactly.
like. That's gonna come out in a documentary one day.
Yo.
Your mom in the background cooking. I mean, I see it. I
bro.
see it happening.
I know you was hungry, my brother. I remember that.
Speaking
still
about
didn't try the
moms,
food, though.
yeah. Speaking about moms, HUGEL, you grew up in France where your mom raised you with like funk music, disco music, some soul.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and years later, you discover the art of DJing, production. So I gotta ask, I know you produce house music. So was that one of the first genres you started producing, or was you dabbed into like other things?
We started with hip hop always.
Hip hop.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Marseille.
Let's
You
go.
know.
Okay.
I started
Harlem
with
in the
hip-hop.
building.
You know what I'm saying? You know I'm from Harlem, right? You know that.
Yeah,
you know that
and you
bit.
need to know actually that like Marseille is the first European city
Okay.
who had rap music. So
Nice.
it's Akhenaton from I Am,
Okay.
the rap band from Marseille, who've been to New York City.
Okay.
And was like, what is this thing? The people that speak on a record and it's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
crazy
It's called
there.
rapping.
And he was like, I need to bring that back to Europe. So
Yes.
he brought that back to France.
Oh,
And
very cool.
the band was I Am, called I Am.
I am. I
So
gotta
it's
look
like
this
also
up.
an English word for the name of the band.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they brought back this rap stuff from New York City
Okay.
in Europe. And so the first country in Europe who had like rap music was France. Because of
Okay,
them.
shout
From
out to
Marseille, from
France.
my city.
And then
Okay.
from hip hop, you went to
Yeah, so
House.
rap was a big influence. So I started with this. I think I did my first beat when I was like 12, just for the rappers the kids that were like living in the
Okay.
in my hood.
You was providing the vibes, like
Yeah,
always.
I
Wow.
wasn't even producing with a software. I was like with EJ. It was more like a video game kind of.
Okay.
yeah.
And I discovered the DJ thing later when I was 16 by accident. One guy was like, one day he was like, what are you doing? Do you want to come with me today? I'm going to Cash Express was the name of the shop.
Okay.
He was like, I'm going to check some turntable stuff. And I was like, what the fuck is turntable? Because at my time when I was 16, it was no internet and all that, no social
Right.
media. So
Right.
you only knew
Back
what
in
was
fif-
happening in your
back
street.
1957. I'm playing.
You only knew
Yeah, yeah.
what was happening in your street, in your city.
Exactly.
No more.
Exactly.
Nowadays, the kids with an iPhone and social media, they can
They
see
find
what's
out
up in
everything.
Miami, what's up in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the case when we were kids. So the guy is like, we go check turntables. I'm like, what the f is that?
We're
And-
turning the tables, literally.
It's like it's for the DJ who play in the discotheque.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay, I come with you. I have no idea what's
Wow.
that, but I come with you. And at that time, I was really into hip hop and all of that. And I entered the shop, I will always remember, and they put like a little stand with all the equipment, and the customers could try it.
Okay.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if we can try, let's try. And I arrive and I see all these buttons and the colors of the light, and I was like, wow.
That was it.
Yeah, so
and
you
I
can
knew-
listen to the records, right? I think
Yeah,
that's
you
what I
could put
remember.
your stuff inside, and you know,
And listen to, yeah.
and I realized that day, I was like, okay, it's a love at first sight. I just met the love of my life.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow,
yes.
wow.
I knew it. I was like, okay.
That's amazing.
It's
and
been
then,
19 years ago.
Crazy,
Oh, wow,
crazy. And do you
okay.
remember, now that you're putting in Latin, like the Latin culture, do you remember the first time you discovered that, the culture, the music that you were like, was it in Spain or was it before that? Like when you first heard like the...
like I said, like I'm from Marseille, so it's south of France. So the Latin Europe is Italia, France, Spain, Portugal.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what we call Latin Europe. Yeah.
Okay.
So the culture is very similar between Italia, France, Spain, and Portugal. Is very similar. So we grew up with that. It was always there. Like my first hit I did in 2018 was Bella Ciao,
Yeah.
which is Italian.
Yep.
Yes.
It turned multi-platinum in different countries and stuff. And
Okay.
same, people ask me, how did you find out about this sample? And I said, I grew up with that. Because there was also tons of Italian in Marseille, so we grew up with it, you know, so yeah.
So you were surrounded by it.
Yeah,
Very,
definitely.
very cool. Very cool. Jen, I got to say, you're one of the most energetic, positive, creative human beings I've ever been around.
Appreciate you.
Your music represents that and more. Like in 2020, you released your first album and you described it as a body of work showcasing a variety of sounds to challenge modern day Latin music norms. Like I love that.
Exactamente.
Like what inspired you to take this direction and how have you been able to succeed like doing so?
I mean, I was just so fed up of everybody telling you, you are this, you are that, you make reggaeton. First of all, I started hip hop. I started on Instagram. I'm a product of Instagram. Hey, Instagram. Okay, so I started rapping every Friday. I was that girl who was rapping in the car. I used to get an instrumental from the internet, boom, 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 and rap. But I fell in love with hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then obviously develop into like reggaeton, dance music, y todo eso. So when it came to my album, I'm a rebel. I really wanted to showcase what I have in my computer. Like, bro, I can do it all. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
I feel
true.
like
I've been in the studio with her. She
Yeah.
can do
Appreciate it.
anything.
Anything. Yeah.
Yes, yes. You know what it is? I got an amazing team, yo. What's up, my team out there? What's up? Buena vaina. But yeah, so for me, I felt like, and when I was speaking to my team, I'm like, listen, the label wants me to do this. People think I do this. No, I really want to showcase what I do. I can give you hip hop. I can give you reggaeton. I can give you trap. I can give you dance. And that's what I really wanted to do with my music. So when people go back, they're like, oh, nah. I've been started from the beginning. And I feel like it's just showcasing and telling artists nowadays, like, yo, don't put no limit on what you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Drake just released house music.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people were like, but whatever. It's like, he makes music. At the end of the day, you might not like it, but there's a whole nother world across the world that listens to that. So I feel like I stand on that where just be creative. It's like Picasso. Picasso didn't go like, oh, I have to paint blue today. No, my boy went in there. He's like, It may not look like anything to you, but it was art. It was his form of how he was feeling. And when it comes to my music and my album, that's what I really, really want to showcase. Like, that's how I felt. That's what I wanted to pick. And that was the sequence of event that I wanted, the sequence of, like the structure of my music. I really wanted people to hear it just like that. And I wanted to put everything in there because I make everything.
And you can tell, like, you guys are just, like, simply fans of music, you know? Like, saying, like, you fell in love with the turntable at first sight. Like, it's just, we become fans of it so much that, yeah, we're artists, but at the end of the day, like, first thing is, like, we're fans first of music.
100%. Like, I couldn't live without it. You know?
Exactly. And if you feel it, y'all, if I'm feeling it, 100% y'all gonna feel it.
Yeah.
Like, if I feel like, yo, it's kind of whack, bro, it's gonna be whack. So I'm hyped. Y'all know, y'all been in the studio with me. I'm hyped.
Super hyped.
I'm hyped, and that's what I'm about to deliver. It's so funny, right? We were in the studio, and he caught me in my moment. It was hilarious, right? Because there was a window right behind him, and I'm looking like past him, and I'm like, and he just turns around slowly, and he's like,
I'm like, who you
performing to?
dancing
And I'm like,
to?
I'm sorry, I have a show coming up, so I just like blanked out real quick, and I was already on stage, you know, and just that's me. I'm always ready to go, and if it's floating, like, let it flow. Like, don't let anybody else besides your team that's maybe telling you to do something or helping you out, but just bro, just go with your heart. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Don't let no label, nobody else tell you otherwise. We at the end of the day, my team helps me out, but they're like, at the end of the day, this is your music. How do you want it? And I appreciate that from the get go. They taught me it's about what you feel, Jen.
Yeah.
We're here to help you out, but if it's about how you feel, how you
Yeah,
That's also the
deliver.
key, in my opinion. Like when you try to do something to succeed, or you try to make it for the money and stuff like that,
Exactly.
usually it will never work. Like I said, like this, the start of this Latin house stuff was the Morenita song. It was a therapy for me.
Amen.
I never planned to release it or to make something that would become successful or
I love
platinum or anything. It was more like something I did with love for myself.
Amen.
And I loved it, connected with it. And if you do connect with it as an artist, obviously the audience going to do it as well.
Yeah. And I feel like you guys captured that, all of that energy, all that like beautiful about like music, like you guys captured it, and like
Tamo Loco.
yeah, alongside Lorna, like which is like a legendary in like Latin music and reggaeton, the Latin urban world. How did that happen? How did was there a communication with Lorna and like you guys were like, yo, we have this like house? Because I feel like back then, like I was there when like the reggaeton boom like happened like in early 2000s, and it was very like reggaeton artists were very like, no, we want it to be reggaeton, and it's so dope that people are open to it, especially the artists that created this early music of the genre.
So, like the original Papi Chulo, that was #1 in France.
Wow,
So I grew up with the song.
crazy.
And I realized touring as a DJ in different countries, like north of Europe, for example, Germany or Netherlands or Switzerland or Austria, all of that, they didn't know this track. So that was a tune that were like big only in the Latin Europe, not in the north. So I was like, it's a long time ago. Maybe if we redo it for the young generation, it's like the original. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we did the song together. I didn't plan to involve Lorna. As a featuring artist featured on it.
Right.
She would be involved because it's her song and she got the rights on the sample.
Gotcha.
But I didn't think in the beginning like she would do the feat or whatever. So we did our things. Then I was on USA Tour in March and I started to post some video on my Instagram about it. People went crazy like, yo, what's this tune?
Video
This
was
fire.
crazy.
We want this track. Blah, blah. And one day, I remember I'm going to the toilet. I check my phone like this in the toilet. And I see some comments like this from Lorna going crazy like, yo, guys, you're using my track.
Who gave you permission? I
Who
was
gave
like,
you permission? And it's like, I'm not even named on it. And
Jen, what you did?
And I'm like, what? That's positive. That's cool.
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If the artist itself is seeing it, it means we make noise with that.
Yeah, as a DJ, that's like, let's see if you get their attention. And
Now
wow.
we got a lot of people's attention. It was crazy. DM went crazy that day.
Yeah. So we're great. We got DM from DJ Snake,
Diplo,
like, a lot of
everything.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was cool because like, even if she was pissed in the beginning, I started to speak with her on the DM. And she don't speak English, speak only Espanol. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And my Spanish is okay. It's not like my
Solamente
English.
para la mamacita.
Yo puedo hablar con las mamacitas, pero tú sabes, es un poquito, So I'm trying to negotiate with her in Spanish, saying, look, don't be mad, jump on the featuring.
Yeah.
And she's telling me, let me speak with my management, but I think I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. I was the kid when Papi Chulo was #1, and now the singer
Wow.
want to do the fit with us.
Exactly.
And I was like, this is super cool,
That's amazing.
And this is the social media. This is the new era.
This
Yeah.
is the new era.
That's how you
It's the
break
new
records.
world, yeah.
We literally tested the record out with just a video. Video went crazy. Had like almost like 40,000 likes. It was crazy.
Wow.
And you know what's so funny? Touring in Italy, everybody thought I used to sing Papi Chulo. I'm like, first of all, put some respect on my age, all right? First of all. And second of all, I can understand, but that was the younger generation that didn't understand that Papi Chulo was an old record because they keep playing it. It's literally like a staple, like Ponte Me in Italy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody is like, and they're like, oh, you're the girl who sings Papi Chulo. I'm like, not really. But now when I went back and I had they were like, oh my God. And it's so crazy to actually bring those things, clash those things together. And like, people are appreciating that. You have Lorna from Papi Chulo and you have Jenn Morel out there doing a collab with my boy HUGEL. And it's not even that. It's that new people, new audience now understand like, okay, cool. It's just either a new song or they actually learn the history. Oh, Lorna and Papi Chulo and, you know. 'Cause a lot of people,
You sing the new version now.
exactly.
Most of them, they don't even learn
don't.
it. Like, for example, if you take that track from Craze, the Do It To It.
Right.
For all the new generation, it is an original track.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Nobody know this kind of R&B from the time.
Exactly.
If you were interested in it and you are like mid-30s, you know it.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you're 20 years old, you're on TikTok and you hear that song, you're like, wow, this is an original.
It's a win-win for the new artist on the record and the old artist
Exactly.
because it gets new
Because
life.
we're all winning
and
together.
let's be clear, it was already like that back in the days. My biggest idol, Dr. Dre, when he's doing that track, what's the difference? Pum, pum,
Oh,
pum,
yeah. I just heard
pum,
that.
It was the
pum, pum.
yeah.
This is Charles Aznavour,
Yeah.
French singer
Yeah.
from the 60s.
sample.
He sampled the orchestration. So sample always has been part of the music.
Yeah.
Is a hip hop, dance, whatever. We need to sample. You know, I think
Yeah,
it's
it's
We
a
need to
beautiful
recycle.
thing in the music world, in the DJ world too. Because I started off as a remixer, like producing. I wanted to make songs a little different to give it, a little of my style, and this is what's happening on a daily basis and becoming like original songs. So
Exactly.
it's amazing. So gotta thank you guys for stopping by Ritmolucion.
Thank you for having us.
It's so dope to have you guys both here, and man, congratulations on the record.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah,
We gotta
and-
wait for that plaque. Don't mess with me. We gotta go.
Promise.
We gotta go get that plaque together.
Yeah, keep killing it on tour. HUGEL, Jenn Morel, keep killing it. We got more music on the way too.
Yes,
We've been in
sir.
the studio too. So
Yep.
shouts to Joely,
Yep.
John Hart, the whole crew, Chris, Buena Vaina.
Yes,
in
you
the
know what
building.
it is. We got Mario Parra in the building too. What's up?
Mario the Legend.
Exactly. But I mean, such a pleasure always to see you, my brother. And today we are celebrating a 1 year anniversary from Checa. We did a song together, my boy
Oh,
Gian,
yeah?
Gian Varela and Boro Boro in Italy. So shout out to Checa.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you guys,
Happy.
man.
We check it out, and I can't wait for us to, you know,
It's
hey.
a celebration. We're
Yes,
just
it is.
celebrating life and good music.